The phone rang just as I was pouring myself a drink. Friday night. The kind that stretches into silence because your wife's team dinner is running late again. I almost didn't answer. The number wasn't saved, and my patience for unknown calls was wearing thin. But some quiet intuition that had been whispering in the back of my mind for months, made me pick up. Hello. A woman's voice came through, trembling but steady enough to hold my attention. Is this Daniel Harper? Yes, I said cautiously. Who's calling? This is Claire. Claire Jensen. My husband is Mark Jensen. He works with your wife, Emma. My stomach clenched. Okay. She exhaled shakily. I'm sorry to do this over the phone. I've been trying to convince myself I was wrong. But I can't anymore. Her voice cracked. Emma and Mark, they're not working late, Daniel. The glass slipped from my hand, shattering on the kitchen tiles. Emma had been working late every Friday for almost a year. First, I didn't question it. She was ambitious, passionate about her marketing firm, and had always taken pride in her career. I loved that about her. The way she'd come home, cheeks flushed with excitement, eyes sparkling as she shared stories about new clients, new projects, new ideas. But slowly those stories stopped coming. The late nights became routine. Her perfume changed. Her laughter did too lighter, distant, like it belonged to someone else. And on Fridays when she kissed me goodbye, her lips always felt colder. I'd noticed. I'd even asked once, trying to sound casual. Another late night? She smiled without meeting my eyes. Yeah, big campaign. You know how it is. I did know. Or thought I did. That night after Claire's call, I sat in the dark living room with the shards of glass still on the floor, the whiskey spreading across the tile like a wound. My phone buzzed again. Emma. Emma. Hey love, just wrapping up. Don't wait up, okay? Me sure. Have a good night. My thumbs hovered over the keyboard. I wanted to type I know, or who are you really with? But I didn't. Not yet. Because something in me, a strange, cruel mix of fear and clarity, wanted proof. The next Friday I told her I had a late meeting too. She barely looked up from her mirror. That's fine, she said, adjusting her lipstick. I might be late again anyway. I watched her in the reflection, how she checked her phone, smiled faintly, then slipped it into her purse. That smile wasn't for me. When she left, I waited 5 minutes before following. Her office was downtown, a half-hour drive from our home. I parked across the street from the building, engine off, lights dimmed. For 2 hours I watched employees trickle out. Groups chatting, couples leaving together, cabs pulling up. But no Emma. Then at 8:47 p.m. she appeared. Not alone. Mark Jensen, tall, confident, his hand brushing hers as they walked toward his car. She laughed. That same distant laugh. Then he opened the door for her, his hand lingering on her lower back. She didn't flinch. Didn't pull away. My breath caught. My chest felt like it was collapsing inward. I followed them. They drove to a small restaurant by the bay, dimly lit, romantic, the kind of place we used to go for anniversaries. From the car I watched them sit close, their hands finding each other across the table. It wasn't a fling. It was something deeper. Familiar. Comfortable. And that was what hurt the most. I stayed until they left, until I saw them walk hand in hand toward the parking lot, her head resting on his shoulder. Then I drove home. Slowly. Carefully. Like I might break if I moved too fast. When Emma came in past midnight, she smelled of wine and ocean air. I was still awake, sitting on the couch. She froze when she saw me. You scared me, she said, forcing a laugh. Didn't mean to, I replied quietly. She glanced at her phone, probably checking if she'd texted me. She hadn't. How was work? I asked. She blinked. Exhausting. You. Same, I said. Then after a pause. Did Mark drive you home? Her face changed. It was subtle, but it was there, the flicker of fear. Mark? No, why would? Don't lie, Emma. The silence that followed was heavier than any shouting could have been. She opened her mouth, closed it again. Her hand trembled slightly as she set down her purse. How long? I asked. She didn't answer. How long, Emma? Finally her voice cracked. 8 months. The room spun. 8 months. Of lies. Of goodnight texts. Of pretending everything was fine. Why? I whispered. Was it me? Did I do something wrong? Tears welled in her eyes. No. You've always been good to me, Dan. You're safe. Kind. But with Mark I felt alive. I cut in. My voice was steady, but I could feel the blood rushing to my head. She nodded, crying now. It wasn't supposed to happen. I tried to stop it. But I kept going back. Every word hit like a knife. I stood up, walked past her and went upstairs. She followed, pleading, apologizing, reaching for me, but I couldn't hear it anymore. Her words had lost meaning. She slept in the guest room that night. I didn't sleep at all. I stared at the ceiling, thinking about all the Fridays I'd spent alone, the dinners I'd reheated, the texts I'd sent asking if she was safe, if she was hungry. She was never mine during those nights. She was his. The next morning Claire called again. I confronted Mark, she said, her voice hollow. He admitted it. He said it's over now, but I don't think it ever really will be. I exhaled shakily. No, it won't. There was a long silence. Two strangers bound by the same betrayal, listening to each other breathe. Thank you for telling me, I finally said. I wish I didn't have to, she whispered. Emma moved out a week later. No screaming, no grand confrontation, just quiet packing, a few broken sobs, and a note left on the kitchen counter. I'll never stop loving you, but I can't undo what I did. I didn't respond. I couldn't. Instead, I spent the next few Fridays driving aimlessly, through the same streets she once lied her way through, past the restaurant by the bay, where the light from the water still reflected like glass. The world didn't end, but something inside me did. It's been 6 months now. Sometimes I still get home from work and glance at the clock, expecting a text that says working late. Don't wait up. It never comes. And yet, in the silence that follows, I realize something. The worst part of betrayal isn't the night you discover it. It's every night afterward, when you still reach for someone who's no longer there. And the only thing that answers is the echo of your own forgiveness that never came.